Hi everyone, Mrs. Kellogg here. Welcome back to my Art at Home video series. So last we left off, you were practicing those artist warm-up exercises. So how did those go? I bet they went really well because all of you are so creative. I bet you came up with the most interesting lines and shapes. And I'm sure you even experimented with combining those lines and shapes. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to build on those artist warm-up exercises, and I am going to show you how to start your own, you got it, your own artist sketchbook. Okay, so you're going to need some materials for this, so let me show you what they are. Okay. So you don't need that many materials because really all you're going to need is a paper and a pencil. Okay, so now I feel that a lot of you are probably thinking, well, Mrs. Kellogg, I don't have an artist sketchbook. So I don't know how I would even keep a daily artist sketchbook. Okay, so let me show you some ideas for you. So take that idea of that paper, but if you have a few more papers, see how you can stack them together and you can just fold them. So can everybody see that? And then you can just staple them on the end. So that's one idea. Or you could just leave them folded like this. Another idea is to take a stack of papers, and think of them as your daily sketch pages and keep them in a folder. Or if you don't have a folder, just keep them like this and maybe put them in a special place that you know where they're going to be. Okay, so, I imagine you have another question for me, which is, can we only use a pencil and that's it? No, whatever materials you have, you can use. Now, I'm going to let you go get your materials, and then you're going to meet me back here. So I will see you soon. You'll hear my dog Olive in the background. Okay, see you soon. Bye. We are going to use our two elements of art that we learned about in our artist warm-up, that you learned in the artist warm-up video. So we're going to use line. And you can use any type of line, a diagonal line, a curved line, a vertical line, a horizontal line, a wavy line, or that crooked line like you're climbing a mountain. So we're definitely going to be using line. And you guessed it, our second element of art is going to be shape. So we're going to you can use any kind of shapes you'd like. So your geometric shapes, which you know so well from math, circles, triangles, ovals, squares, rectangles, and I know you know many more. And then you can make up your fun polygon shapes if that's something you'd like to do, or those nice, fun, creative, organic, curvy shapes. So we're going to, again, use those two elements of art in our sketchbook, line and shape. So let's get started. So let me open my trusty sketchbook, and I've got some loose papers here. These are some sketches that I did. So again, remember, practice, because the more you practice, you can make all sorts of things. So you're seeing here, look at the shapes I used in my sketchbook, and look at all these fun lines. So I love making these portraits. But again, everything started with my practice when I first started my sketchbooks. Okay, so let me show you what we're gonna do. Oh, and one thing just to let you know, I love having quotes in my studio. They help inspire me. So I hope this quote inspires you. If you can dream it, you can do it. And that's by Walt Disney. So keep that in mind when you're creating your sketchbook. Okay, so I had a great teacher show me that you can just simply start with simple boxes. So you could draw how many boxes you like. You can draw those, and then you could just do one a day, or you can do 2 a day or more. So that's one way to start. So in this first box, you can see that I made this curvy line. And then I added some triangle. And then I put some pencil in the background. So you can design it any way you want. This one, I used a curvy line. And I added some circles. This one, I kind of looped the line and crossed it over. And then use those real squiggly or wavy lines. Some rectangles. This one I did some fun overlapping. Playing around with the marker and the pencil and experimenting. Because that's what a sketchbook is. You're just experimenting with lines and shapes. And discovering things. So here I use some organic shapes, and then here I wanted to see what would happen if I put marker in the background. So however you decide to do this, just keep thinking you want to use line and shape. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do this. So I've got my boxes all set. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off in marker, and I'm going to show you how to do one box. Okay, so what I'm going to do here in this box is, since I love curvy lines, that's my fun practice, so I'm going to start with a curvy line. Okay, now I'm going to choose a shape that I like to make. And I'm going to start to add some shapes. And when I look at that, that to me looks like that could become a funny face. So if that's something you want to do to make it something, or just practice with those lines and shapes and it can look like a design. Okay, so whatever you enjoy drawing, as long as you're practicing is really important. So now I'm going to see what happens here. I'm going to add another one here. Maybe I'm going to make some here. And then, so see how I'm using kind of a rainbow line and that half circle. And then I'm going to see what happens. Maybe I'm going to just go outside the box. See, you don't have to always stay in that box. You don't even have to use a box if you don't want to. You could just start in one small corner of the page, or if you're a person that you've been drawing for a while and you like to draw really big and wild and fill the page, you can fill the page. So one thing I like to do is kind of show you how you can just start with one simple box. Because if you're a person that you don't draw very much, and you're new to drawing, and maybe your hands needs a little bit, you need to practice, it's like building a muscle. You just start off small, and then you can go to 2 boxes a day, or 3, then go to 3, and before you know it, you'll be filling the whole page. Okay, so you have a lot of choices. Okay, so now I'm kind of seeing what happens when I shade in with the marker, what that looks like. I'm having things go off the page and then go back on. I'm going to add another one and just experiment and see what that looks like. Put one up here, see what happens there. I'm going to put a big one here. It looks like the sun's rising there. And then I'm going to see what happens if I put another one there. I'm going to add this. So again, just experiment and see what happens. Okay, so now I have that, and you can stop there. But if you want to take your pencil and start seeing what happens when you shade or color in the back and see what that does, And if all you have is a pencil, notice this. See, I can press down and get it really dark. And then if I want a lighter shade, I just relax my hand and see, now I'm not pressing so hard and I get a lighter shade. And then if I hardly press at all, but now here I want to press a little harder. So see, the other thing, if you're working with a pencil, the harder you press, the darker it's going to go, and then the lighter you press. And if your hand ever hurts when you're holding the pencil, just remember, relax and open up your hand. I used to hold my pencils way too tight and my forearm used to really hurt. So sometimes if you just relax your hand and just experiment, holding your pencil higher, holding your pencil lower, or holding it like this so you can get larger and those swooping lines that we learned in the artist warm-up. See how I have my pointer finger here, my thumb here, so that's another way to do that. Just to remind you, see, look, if you don't use the boxes, look at how, see, I can make those really long swooping lines because I have more range. So again, I really encourage you to experiment and have fun creating and discovering, because that's what art's about. You want to create your own original artwork. I'm just here to teach you art skills and give you some ideas and hopefully inspire you to start your daily sketchbook. If you want, you could wrap your finger with a paper towel and then see how I can blend these also. See, look at, I get that nice mark there. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, and maybe you want to pause the video and just work on one box. Okay, so I hope you had fun doing your first box. Now we're going to move on to the second box, and I want to show you how to do these curvy organic shapes. I have a lot of students always ask me, how do you do those curvy organic shapes? So I'm going to show you. So now I'm going to work in this box and I'm going to show you how to do those kinds of shapes. So first I start with line. So I'm going to kind of swing down here. It's almost like I'm going to make a big V and bounce off the bottom and come up here. Okay, so now I'm going to make those curvy shapes. So I start by touching that line and coming up and making a curved line. Then I'm going to think shape, and I'm going to go into an oval, back to my triangle, and back home to my line. I'm going to do another one. Curve. And notice the direction I curve, that's the way the shape's going to bend. So now I'm going to my oval, and I'm going back home to that line. So I go oval to triangle. So here's another one. Rainbow line curving down to my oval, to my triangle, and back home. This one, if I wanted to go up, see, I don't curve as much, and I go up, swing around, oval, back home to the triangle. And if I want one popping up, see how I curve in that direction, and the shape goes in that direction, and I swing back home. Okay, so now that I have, you know how to do that, again, I want these to look like they're curving. So in order to do that, if I want to put a line in the middle, I have to make sure the line curves. So if this curves this way, I'm going to curve that line in the middle that way. So if this curves this way, line goes that way. If this is curving up, I go up. This is curving that way, and I curve. And then you can design it any which way, any way you'd like. So this is our lesson on starting your sketchbook. So again, you have choices. You can just start with one box, you could do multiple boxes, or you could just start on one little section of the paper and not use the boxes, and then just each day try to fill the page. Or you could just, if you love drawing big, just keep filling those pages. But the main thing is You want to practice. So that is our lesson today on how to start your own artist sketchbook. So I want you to always remember, relax, have fun, and keep creating. See you next time.